What is up, plant community? If you like my videos, go ahead and give me a like, share, and subscribe. It helps me out and it helps me get the channel out there more, teach people things more about plants, and maybe even teach me a little things here and there about certain species and certain things. So, today I want to talk about a tree that I don't see much about on the internet, and I don't the ficus religiosa. It's commonly grown as a bonsai. And I don't see why they're not grown as a house plant, quite frankly. Just as a normal tree. They have a. I'm not sure you can see that. I'll try to get up, see if you guys see that better. Has a nice little red veining, some nice veins on the foliage that look just really nice, in my opinion. Could take direct sun if you choose to put it out there. But these trees here get partial shade to full sun on certain parts of the day. Anyways, let's get down and talk about the ficus religiosa and care. So, the ficus religiosa. So, when it comes down to the ficus religiosa, they can take medium light, but do not expect to get that red veining. Expect to maybe get more, something like that, green veining. Expect to get, of course, yellow leaves like this. And those leaves will fall off, especially in lower light conditions, and they'll fall off. They seem to be a tree that you don't have to repot often. They seem to be like the rubber trees, where they'll kind of keep on growing in a smaller pot, but it's good to give them a bigger pot. One of those type of things. They do get big leaves on them, as we could see on the older leaves. Newer leaves are starting to come up, not quite as big. Um, they do tend to keep on, like I said, keep on growing even in a smaller pot, but you really stunt the growth. During the winter, I winded up putting this in a bigger pot, which you're not supposed to do. And since, of course, it's a ficus religiosa, I went ahead and got something with a lotus flower to kind of give it that Buddha style, because that's where it comes from. They call it the religious tree, which is why it's called ficus religiosa. Legends go that a Buddhist monk sat underneath this tree, not this particular tree, but a much bigger one out in the wild of its native range, and he was enlightened. So, a little fun fact for you. So, when it comes down to the ficus religiosa, they could take cool temps. Is it recommended to give them cool temps? I wouldn't, unless you live in a place like I do where summers can be iffy and even winters can be iffy. Like, usually our summers are pretty warm here, but it's been getting into the 70s, 80s, and drop it down to the 50s and 60s, which is fine. This tree can totally handle temps down into the 60s. Once you get down to the 50s, you really want to wash the tree. My tree took it like a champ. Didn't really phase it. When I had it out here in 50 degrees, I was expecting all the leaves to drop, but it did fine. It did all right. They are a tropical, so their soil, you want to keep their soil fairly moist. Don't let it completely dry out. Let it dry out for the few inches in the summertime when it's getting more light. That could be a bit of a different story. This tree won't lay out aerial roots like the weeping fig over here, or even the ficus burgundy. From what I've seen, is they don't do that. They just tend to kind of grow as a normal deciduous tree like these guys over here. I use slow release fertilizer. Seems to work just fine. Seems to be more natural for the trees anyways to use that slow release, because It's what they would naturally have in the wild, is slow release. It would slowly release and they would grow. Um, I can't really tell you how tall they get. But I can tell you it will get as tall as you want it to get. And that determines if you get the room, the pot size, all that type of stuff in order to let it really grow, let it get that trunk, expose it to wind. It'll stiffen the trunk up, like a natural tree. You gotta have it out in the wind, getting exposed, so that way the trunk gets stronger for the tree. The wind's really blowing the poor thing, but that's fine. Common pests: scale, mealybugs, thrips. Be looking for those. Sorry if I'm rocking back and forth, by the way. I am on a swing. So just the common things that you might get with a weeping fig, look for those on here. If you could, indoors when overwintering, give it full spectrum lighting or keep it close by a window. I got my guy through by keeping him close by a window. Seemed to have really helped. Also, another thing I've noticed about it is wherever there is a leaf that will drop, or if you kind of, like, say, for example, I picked this leaf off, there's a potential like this here for a branch to bud. And that will form a whole new branch where that old leaf was, or could be a bud there, and that bud will branch out. I didn't want it to branch out right here. I actually wanted it to get taller, but this leaves me knowing that, hey, the leaves can get this small, and you could make a bonsai out of it, which is what they're most commonly used as, is bonsai trees. I have yet to see anybody really besides me grow this guy as a normal ficus tree. I'm not sure if it bears fruit. Wasn't that long ago I found out the tiger bark ficus bears little fruit on them, so I have that one as a bonsai. Anyways, I'll talk about the tiger bark ficus here. So they can take direct sunlight, partial shade. Just make sure you adjust them, of course. My guy, I didn't have no room to kind of adjust to the sun, which is a big no-no. So I just kind of threw him out here like, well, survive. He took it like a champ. Yeah, otherwise than that, that's really about it. I'm pretty sure, before I do go, I'm pretty sure you can start them as cuttings, right? Say if I wanted to right here, cut the guy right there, and I'd have a whole new tree from that cutting, or even down lower where there's a new little stem growing, I could cut there too, but I'd want a healthy branch though to make a proper cutting. But yeah, otherwise than that, that's really about it of the ficus religiosa. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Have a good rest of the day.